chair and prepare to feel better about your last campaign. This is Fail in Fortune. Epic fails, unexpected feels, and tabletop truth.
Welcome back, friends, to Fail in Fortune, the show where tabletop creators share their biggest misfires, messiest moments, and most magical memories. I'm Dave, and today I'm joined by Paige and Leonie from the Junket Podcast, a queer-led, spacefaring actual play with high drama, custom mechanics, and the kind of narrative twist that can only come from 5 friends facing the end of the universe. Paige, Leonie, welcome to the tavern.
Very good to be here. Can I get like a pint or something to start off,
I wish, if I don't have the pools in yet. So eventually, I mean, it all depends how many people subscribe.
That's true.
So welcome to the show. For those who don't know what the Junket Podcast is, what is it?
Okay, so Junket is like you sort of said, a queer-led space fantasy. So essentially, we looked at D&D, we looked at your classic fantasy, and I was like, I've never DM'd before. You know what's a really good idea? Is taking this fantasy game and making it into a space fantasy, making all our own aliens, making spaceship mechanics, and just setting it 200 years in the future. That's a really, low-level ambition to start off with. And that's what happened. The Junket Podcast is a high-level campaign, so we start with the characters at level 10. So they've already saved the universe once, and we pick straight up with them, like celebrating 2 years since saving the galaxy, becoming famous, and then they get hauled back into their next adventure to take them from level 10 all the way to 20 is the ambition.
There's not a lot of 10 to 20 adventures out of theirs. I mean, everybody gets up there, then they just kind of disappear, and they never get to play that high level. So that's great. Would you describe yourself as a space opera?
Yes, absolutely. I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. I'm like love-hate relationship with Star Wars, which is like, the most real kind of fan of Star Wars, frankly, is like love-hate. Like you're like, I love it. I also hate it so much. I'm so angry about it all the time. So absolutely love space fantasy is why I made it a space opera. So it's just big sets, big adventures, really all the fun tropes, etc. Just having a really good time.
You say tropes. So, I gave a listen to it last night. Do my research. Now, I noticed in your last episode that the villain has an American accent. Is that because I mean most North American shows, the bad guy is always like British or European. Is that like a play on a trope, or is that just something that comes when you do a voice?
So I want to be really clever and say that it's a play on a trope, and it's me identifying the fact that, we're a very US-centric, North America-centric world state at the moment. Europeans in particular, we definitely feel a bit fed up sometimes with that. Because they always make us the villain, and right now where they're looking at them going, are you sure it's us right now? We know it's been us a lot of the time, but like right now, are you sure? But no, it wasn't that at all. It's essentially, I saw Beetlejuice. If you've seen or heard of the Beetlejuice musical, his voice is 100% inspired by Beetlejuice. I wanted a really distinctive voice for one of the main villains.
I think that was mainly it, is that we were in the car and you're like, I need this voice to be distinctive.
Unique.
Because he's going to be here a lot. And like Paige was saying, we're going from 10 to 20, but we also played 1 to 10 before. So you've rolled through a lot of your voices already, and he was coming in quite late to the game. So
yeah.
You needed something a bit different.
We have a really large cast of NPCs just because of them being a higher level party. So he needed to be something completely different, and I chose something that would ruin my voice forever in the doing.
Do you have a cup of tea waiting for after doing that voice?
I do have a cup of tea. I have strepsils, which I don't know if you guys, it's like the equivalent of like a throat sweet, but that's why I have strepsils specifically for Toon whenever I do his voice.
What's your favorite part of building? Because you built your own world, the Maelstrom Galaxy. What's your favorite part about building that?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, the aliens. I really love designing our own like custom peoples. That was terrific fun. I was always that kid in the corner, like designing 1 million different weird animals. So coming into a TTRPG setting, I was just so excited to make aliens and also like make aliens that aren't just aren't just humans who are green or have pointy ears. I wanted to make really weird aliens that don't have hands or like are just really out there.
Scrolling through your PDF of aliens, and they are absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, so I was inspired heavily by like real animals, and then thinking, how would that actually translate if you're a sentient creature? What happens if you're a eusocial arthropod based or inspired by ants? Like, how does that influence your society? Like, what kind of abilities might you have? If you're a deer, people like the Araswati, and they don't have thumbs and they're a prey animal, how does that influence them as a sentient like power in the galaxy? How does that influence how they treat the other races?
So all your doors are self-opening then.
Yes. I like creating questions for myself.
What's the emotional core of the show for you?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I would say that we started D&D, oh my God, how long have we been playing? Like eight years?
Oh, I was 24 when we started the campaign.
So we were, I'd say, entering adulthood, but
On the cusp.
very much. And it becomes so much more difficult to spend time regularly with your friends once you become adults with jobs, live in different parts of the country. And I think that's the main reason you picked it up. Firstly, like, you wanted to tell a good story, but I think it very much also was pushed by a regular chance to see our friends and do an activity together.
It's that instant feedback as well. Like, I've always been a writer and a storyteller, and it's such a different thing to go from like submitting to publishing houses and those very like cold, slow relationships where you're putting a lot out and not getting much back. Just being like, I want to feel people enjoy my stories, and you take that to a table of people you love and trust, and you just get to create stories together, and it's just immediate feedback. They're throwing ideas at you would never come up with, and it's just so good for your relationships. What is it you always say, Kitten? You always say, relationships are built on shared experiences, and D&D is like a shared experience you can have in your own living room, which is really helpful if you're 24 and skint.
I feel that so deep. Playing when I got back into Dungeons and Dragons after years and years and years of not doing it, and I'm like, I mean, that's a lot of money. All the books, all the things, right? You gotta. It is not a cheap hobby, but I mean, if you're creating your own, I guess that takes some of that cost out of it.
Yes.
Do you have a reaction from a listener that has stuck with you? Anything?
Oh, was it Anna said? Anna was was it tune she really liked?
Yes, I think so. But she did say he sounded like a Star Wars character.
I think most of the feedback we've had has generally been like, you can really tell that this group of people have known each other a long time. Like, obviously a lot of TTRPG shows are based on like friendships that have existed a long time. But I know for us in particular, everyone at our table has known each other since they were like 17, 18.
Oh,
and
wow.
we're now in our 30s. So like, they're really deep friendships, and we have a lot of trust. We've all changed a lot as people, like learned stuff about ourselves, and a lot of that has been around the table with each other. And you can really feel that, I think, in the show. Like, when you listen and as you go on, you can kind of hear the time that we spent together and how much we're resisting making references to our own in-jokes that no one would ever get. We have so many edited out references to our little tiny city in the east of England that no one would ever understand. We'll just be there like, let's have a quick Norwich joke just for us that we're going to cut out later.
Oh, that's fair. So I have a portion of the show. It's called the Dungeon Diary. So I guess in this case, it's going to be your starship's black box. How did the Junket Podcast get its start?
So I was 24. You would have been 25 because you're just shy of a year older than me.
Yeah.
I think we were listening, was it 2016? We were listening to the Adventure Zone, which I think you're probably going to get from a lot of people from that kind of time period. So we were listening to the Adventure Zone. One of those few that were out? Yeah, it was really popular at the time as well. We were Tumblr kids, so it was all over that site at the time. So we gave it a listen, really enjoyed it, really enjoyed like the narrative aspect. Like, I know I'd always gotten the impression that D&D was very like numbers based, very just about like maximizing damage, like DPS, etc. But I don't know. Taz really introduced like that storytelling aspect, and I've always been a storyteller, so I was immediately just like, I really want to do something like this. I really want to have a go. I want to try doing it. And then because I'm really good at setting a low bar for myself, that's when I immediately started making aliens and thinking, yeah, it'd be cool if it was set in space though. I would love to do that instead of elves. Like, that would be a lot of fun.
Everybody's got elves. Not everybody's got space aliens.
No, everyone's got space aliens. Initially, obviously, we didn't really have the money or anything to start the show. So we had that from the very get-go, as we'd really love to do a podcast, but we just didn't have the resources at the time. We didn't have the level of experience at the time. We were aware of the fact we were 24, like we were babies. We were tiny babies. So we kind of waited till level 10, because the campaign was always conceived to be in two halves, like the 1 to 10 journey, and then the 10 to 20 journey was always planned from the beginning. So when we decided not to record from the very start, it was very much when we get to level 10, we'll do it then. And then it came upon us, I think, in 2020 is when it landed, just in time for the pandemic. So we had plenty of time to learn what we were doing before we started recording.
So it took 4 years from the idea to actually recording.
Yeah, we played from literally session 0 through to level 10 before we started recording.
And then you taught yourself how to use the mics, record sound, edit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get into that. For sure. I think everybody says, let's do a podcast.
Oh my God, there's so much more to it than that. Oh.
Nobody knows behind the scenes what happens when you let's do a podcast. I thought it'd be easy. When we started our other podcast, The Arcane Dice, it was, 5 of us in a room, 2 snowball speakers hooked up to a computer, and, just hoping the audio recorded.
Did it?
Where we are now.
Did it? Yeah.
90% of the time. 90% of the time.
There's pain in your tone there.
Oh, there's a lot of pain in this in our other podcast. Even to this day, I still have pain. I mean, that's why I decided to do this little project. Let people know that there's a lot more to it. Just 5 guys sitting around in a bar going, "Let's start a podcast." So, other than your 4-year start, were there any other unexpected hurdles when you first started recording?
Oh my gosh.
Well, one of our players, Duncan, lives and plays remotely. So having to figure out how to get him to record was definitely a challenge.
I think as well, because we were all in when we started recording, we would still have been in our mid to late 20s. I think I would have been like 27, 28 or something like that. So we own our own flat, but our friends were still renting at that point. So we had a lot of people who'd move. We had someone who was able to come to our recordings for a year and then had to spend a year elsewhere. So then we had to get a new setup for them. A lot of flexibility required around trying to help people dial in and making sure they have the right setup, and adapting our own setup as well, because I think we moved partway through. Yeah. I think we got to episode 25 and then we moved. So we had a very different setup. I think we first moved into our flat, we didn't have wired internet. We had to use a 5G projector thing that we phone internet for our recording session. So we were just there oh my God, doing the Ookla speed check frantically, being will it be okay this evening? I hope so.
For sure. Did you ever think it would become what it is now, your podcast? From when you said, let's record, to what it is today?
I'm gonna say yes. I think you're very good at following through on what you set out to do. When you started the campaign, you're we're going to go from 1 to 20, and we're well on our way. We're going to do it. We're going to get there. But I think one of the best things about you is you're a self-starter, and you'll teach yourself all the skills that you need to do. And I'm not surprised that it's still going. I mean, I think the biggest issue is finding time to edit, because we're now in our 30s.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Finding time to edit and play and plan and all that other stuff that comes with it is definitely difficult. But, I think we're going to make it.
Editing is definitely the nightmare.
Oh, it is. That first moment when you open Adobe Audition or Audacity or whatever your poison is, and you see the 2, 3, 4 hours of recording, and you just go, oh, this is actually a lot of work.
It is. I mean, because, everybody else in the pod, they're like, oh, yeah, no, just edit it up, throw it up. And the person who actually has to do the editing and listen to it over and over and over again, it's just, it's a nightmare. And I've always said, I got a face for radio and a voice for books. So to hear my voice over and over and over again is just a nightmare. And I'm the one who does the editing, so I'm the one who gets to suffer the most.
Yeah, we're co-editors, because so we share the pain somewhat, because we're married, so she has to share it with me. So
I think that works quite well, though.
That's fair. Share that pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll do the first pass and get it down to a more manageable length, and you'll sort of come behind me and cut out like stuff that needs, just to get the length down.
And then I'll do the scoring as the final to listen for any gaffes or etc. or like all the bits and bobs that we need sorting.
What advice would you give to someone who's going to start their own actual play today?
Oh my gosh, talk to your group. Make sure that they are the right people to do it with, because it is a really long-term project and you need to make sure everyone is invested. I know that we had a lot of conversations around our table being like, are you guys ready for what this would actually mean? Because we play this game for fun, but if you're playing for an audience, I always think no matter if it's just 10 friends, 10 friends, that would be a terrifyingly big party. No matter if it's just a group of friends or you've known each other forever or whatever, if the second you introduce an audience, you have a responsibility to be mindful of what you're saying, because you're saying it in a public forum, especially in a storytelling setting where everything is so metaphorical. Like, there are always things that you're accidentally saying without meaning to. So please talk to your party. My number one piece of advice: talk to your party. Make sure everyone understands what it actually means to be doing this in front of an audience. And honestly, just have those open conversations. Like, where do you want to take your character? Like, what is your vision? What's your vision? What's your vibe? Where are you going? What are your boundaries? Just make sure those real basic things are absolutely nailed in, because you don't want to find out in the middle of a recording session that someone's uncomfortable with something that you're doing or an element of the storytelling that you're chasing after.
Amazing. And it's I'm going to ask, because you brought this up, talk amongst everybody. As a queer-led cast, did that be a problem? Like, were there any issues, or did you find that things just weren't jiving?
Oh no, all of us are. So I think we have poor Duncan, bless him. He is our token straight man, bless him. He's the only one.
Okay.
So he's the only one. So that was never an issue. But there was definitely, I think, like with the stuff that's happening around like trans identities and etc., like we have a couple of they thems at the table, and we did have to have conversations initially being like, are you comfortable having your pronouns out in public? Are you okay with being like it being a public show with this in mind and with the climate at the moment and what everybody's thinking about people like you? Like, is that okay? And they did agree to it, and we went ahead. And then like I think they both chose to play like cisgender characters, but then one of our other players who isn't non-binary then chose to play a non-binary character, and we've had quite a lot of that in the show, like their journey and they're looking for an identity. So that's been quite integral, really.
I also think well.
I mean,
sorry. I was really excited about it. Like, I read a lot, and especially, oh my god, like quite a few years back, it was quite difficult to find positive stories with queer relationships in them. So the idea of, I feel like we have a very strong relationship, and I feel like our characters have very strong queer relationships. So I was really excited about the idea of being able to bring that into the public space.
Yeah, that's very
Excellent.
fair. What's it called? Like, bury your gays is the trope. It's the trope where if you have an LGBT couple, specifically female, they'll kiss and then one of them will immediately die. I think that is really consistent. It's got its own like TV tropes page. It's a real problem in the media. Yeah, it's a real problem. It's like killing off gay characters, not getting to have like happy gay stories. Right? It feels like very much exploitation of tragedy in order to make straight people think of us as human, rather than just being like, they're just like us. There's not really a difference. But I mean, in the show, we play a pair of newlyweds. So
yeah, I'm thankfully I come from Canada, so we're way more open and accepting, and of the whole queer LGBTQ
testing you
plus
LGBTQ, yes,
plus, right?
Yes,
two.
LGBTQIAAPP, I think in full, but you don't need to do that. It's okay. It's okay.
I honestly don't know all the and I mean, being in the Army now for 30 years, even just seeing the changes in opinions and policies and everything like that, it's just been, I mean, definitely eye-opening and great. As there's way more acceptance now.
Yeah, it's been very much 2 steps forwards, 1 step back, as it always is. I don't know how much you know about like the UK climate for LGBT people at the moment, but we're having, like the US, we're having a really bad time with treatment of trans people. People keep calling us TERF Island, which unfortunately is quite true. There's a lot of transphobia from our government. We've got like a more center-left government at the moment. So the super right-wing aren't in, and the center-left are in, and the trans climate is awful. So it's really, really bad for trans kids in the UK right now.
I don't know. I personally, I don't see why anybody has to know what I do in the bathroom or how I
It's
get
ridiculous.
there. Or it is, unfortunately. So let's move on to production disasters. So, what's a moment behind the scenes that completely fell apart?
So I think it might be in the teens or the 20s of our episodes. We had a minor villain called Ted Bickering. We've been building up to for a while. We had this really cool setting. We went to a planet with high gravity, so we had like unique mechanics for getting exhaustion faster, lowering your speed, etc., like reduced jump height. It was a really good time, really good build up. Went to like this amazing underground, obviously spoilers, this amazing underground setting with like this really dynamic boss fight. And we, the whole recording was gone. For the boss fight. We literally got to him and then the raw recording stopped and we got nothing from the entire actual confrontation with this guy we've been building up to for ages. It was, oh my God, I didn't even have words. I think I was just sat there like...
I think as well, because like we're obviously, when you're editing, it takes such a long time. You're a few months behind. So we didn't realize until literally months later, by which point you're like, what even happened? what were we doing?
It was the worst feeling in the world. What we ended up doing is I ended up recording a narrative version because we had like really extensive notes of what had happened, because Leonie is an amazing note keeper because she's a smart lady. So we were able to do like a narrative. I think I did like a narrative version of it instead, being like, really sorry, gonna be really honest, we don't have this and we can't re-record it because we're like 40 episodes ahead of where we're releasing. So this is the best we could do. I'm so sorry. But I think that's the worst one. That one was such a clanger. Paranoid ever since, though. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. I feel that. I really do. I've had to do a narrative episode with our Arcane Dice podcast. The sound.
Oh, man.
One of that 10% did. It was like...
I feel you.
It sounded like it was coming out of, a fish tank.
Oh, no.
With a volcano in the background. So I had to narrate the whole episode as one of my dead characters, and yeah.
Did you find out what it was that caused the issue, or did you just never find out?
No. I just you know what it is. It's the same
Invisible
with why your audio
gremlins.
didn't record, right? It just happens. I don't know what it is with all of our computers when we do this. You set all your settings, and you're like, I should set it, and forget it. Something happens, an update happens, or you installed a different program, or you took out a program, and all of a sudden all those settings change, and you don't realize until like after the recording, and you sound like you're in a fish tank with a volcano in the background. So
I have another one though.
Oh no.
This is
I'll take more.
It's a very UK specific one. So we'd planned. We used to play on the weekend. We now play on a weekday evening. So we're playing on a Saturday. People, I think, had different schedules, so it was like it had been put off for a few weeks. We were finally getting to meet, and then it was the day of like one of the royal weddings.
Oh my God, yeah.
Everyone was using their internet.
Oh yeah, we literally couldn't get online because it was the royal wedding. It was honestly the funniest thing, and we're not really super royalists at all. So we were just there like,
we're like, what's going on? And we're like, oh no, the internet's really slow. And then
everybody's mum and dad is watching the royal wedding, whereas all the youngsters are there going, why can't we get online?
So we literally just had to.
So everybody watching the wedding but you.
Yeah. We just wanted to play D&D. For God's sake.
Right? Wow. I mean, how often did those happen either? And it happened to schedule on the same day.
I mean, there's been 2 in a decade. It's outrageous. They need to calm down at this point. Too much.
That is a lot. I don't keep...
2 in 15 years, I think.
Don't know anymore.
Don't know.
Close.
Don't care.
I don't keep a lot of track. I mean, even though, our royalty as well, I really don't track all that too much.
Whatever.
But it's those sort of things you never really think that you have to take into consideration. So we now live next to a football stadium with the same issue. Everyone goes on their phone at halftime. Anyway.
Halftime? I think it's halftime. We're not football people.
I have no idea either. Like soccer here, I guess, for us.
Yeah.
I would
it's
say
halftime.
halftime.
We kept calling it a matinee by accident because we really like theatre, and we kept calling it a matinee by mistake. And we were like, it's definitely not that one. Yeah,
My wife
always
doesn't
goes
like it
down
when
during halftime.
she watches hockey, and there's always a break between periods, and I always call it hockey halftime.
I love
It's
that.
not hockey halftime.
I think that can catch on,
Uh,
though.
No, I think it should totally hockey halftime. So doing this, learning about recording, mics, equipment, all that kind of stuff. What did you learn the hard way?
Oh my God. Okay, so Reddit was my friend throughout this whole process, honestly. Like, it was so helpful in being able to get the right setup. We use a mixing desk with cardioid dynamic microphones. So we all record on the same track because we thought about recording everyone on different tracks, but I thought that given the time, it would be way too time intensive to do that. So we record with 5 people on one track and then one person on another track. Remotely. I think the biggest learning curve was initially getting the mixing desk to work with my laptop. I think the first time we recorded must have taken me 2.5 hours to get it to actually work. And I was literally like, I have a memory of myself in our little rented house, like crawling under the table, almost in tears, being like, why won't it record? It was absolute agony. But we use like a Behringer as well. And like a lot of their instructions just aren't very clear. You very much just have to go on the internet and hope someone's dad has done a shaky video of themselves and how they've done the setup. Thank you
YouTube
to those
University.
shaky dads. You helped me.
So one track, as soon as
Yeah.
I figured out I could move people to other tracks, I jumped on that so hard.
It is a lot cleaner.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I listened to your podcast last night, and it's clean, it's clear, there's no fish tank, no nothing in the background. So for one track, that's amazing.
They're all under pain of death, honestly.
But that's really good to hear, though, because I know part of the issue was you were like, you knew from the start that you were like, we're going to get good mics.
Yeah.
That was one of the key things you knew.
Yeah.
When we record, we're not going to start on what we can afford and then work our way up.
We're going to put the money in straight away. It's part of the reason we waited. So we have like an 8-track mixing desk, so a big boy mixing desk. And one of the reasons we went for cardioid dynamic microphones is they record in a very narrow, like little skinny ice cream cone. So I'm on a separate mic to Leonie, but it will sound like we're mic'd individually. Even though we're on the same track, because it won't really pick up her voice in my microphone because she's outside of my little tiny ice cream cone. So I did that intentionally because I knew that we wouldn't really have the time to do separate track editing because I have extremely high standards. And I was like, if we do like 5 to 6 different tracks, I'm going to lose my mind trying to make every single track perfect. Whereas like, if we just do one big track, have a really good mic etiquette and mics that only pick up what is literally right in front of them, we can really get around it and have a little bit of a cheat. So that's been our strategy, is like using these cardioid dynamics, and it's actually worked really well. I think our individual microphones are only about £15. So,
Oh, well,
yeah,
that's not bad. That would be probably $32.50 Canadian.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're about double, aren't you? Yeah, about
Yeah.
15 quid at the time. I think it'd be more now because like we've also had terrible inflation. But yeah, no,
yes.
we went for expensive mixing desk, expensive laptop, cheap microphones is what we did, and it's actually worked really well for us. It's a little bit unconventional, our setup, but we were trying to be like, you have to go with what works for you and what you have time and energy for. So it was very much looking at what everybody says and then being like, would that actually work for us? And then we came up with what we do.
Oh, that works. So now that you've been recording for a few years,
Yes.
What's something that you won't compromise on now? Having learned
compromise
all these
on
tips and tricks.
Ooh.
Do you mean in terms of the setup or in terms of the play?
Setup, production, equipment, recording, things like that.
I would say mic etiquette is probably my sticking point. Because we record 5 people to a track, we have extremely good mic etiquette. So we basically had to train ourselves to always be mindful that your mic is live and it's on the same track as the person who's giving their heartfelt speech to their NPC who's representing their lover or etc., or their mother or someone in danger who they care about. So like everybody else is we're honestly, if you could have a visual recording rather than just an audio recording for Junket, you would see us all just sat around the table like this. So good. We have to just be like little church mice. No snacks at the table, no drinks at the table. We're just, I don't know, we've got a really good system. I think that's the thing that we don't compromise on, is being like, we cannot have any stacks, any wiggles at the table. It makes it a lot less like dynamic when you're sat there and you want to like move around and do stuff. But unfortunately, that's just the way it works with our setup, is sitting very still. I think that's been with the windows closed.
Oh yeah, it's been.
We don't have aircon anywhere. There's no aircon in the UK, Dave. There's none. There's no aircon anywhere. It's awful.
Amazon.uk. I'm sure you can find it. We call it a window. We call it a window rattler. They're usually about a window rattler. You throw it in the window. You
How does
box
that
around
work?
it. It's just a square box.
And then your window
Half of it hangs out, and your window slides down. You put little pieces of wood beside it, and you plug it into the wall.
What if your window opens that way, like a door?
Yeah, well,
because that's all windows in the UK.
Yeah, that's probably why you don't have window. Ours mostly slide up and down.
Oh man, that would be good. Yeah, no, we don't have those. We have door windows instead. No, we're seriously considering aircon, but no, recording with all the windows shut, no fan because of sound, no aircon. Oh my god, sound quality. Yeah, no, to summarize that very long rambly thing, sound quality. No one is allowed to wiggle. No one is allowed to snack. The windows must remain closed even if it's 35 degrees. We must not. We must suffer for the art.
I got one of the guys on our other podcast. He's been blown up so many times in the army. His whole head clicks when he eats.
Oh my god.
We're waiting for everybody to get in. Just listening to his head click while he eats just drives me up the wall.
Oh my god.
Thankfully, he stopped doing it while we're recording. But yeah.
That's good. I think like our only equivalent would honestly be the fact that I say Duncan. I feel like Duncan is one of these, but essentially a couple of our players are unbelievably very RP, like posh sounding British, and sometimes when you're editing the recording, it does make you laugh a bit because like they sound almost like Duncan in particular. I love him to pieces. He is a librarian at Cambridge, and he sounds like that. And that's his real voice. He's not doing anything. He just sounds like that. That's just how he sounds. And it's honestly so endearing. And sometimes I'll be listening to the recording going, man, bless this man. He sounds like he's in the Dickensian era. He texts like that as well,
probably be
by the way.
the poshest episode I have.
Really? I'm not posh.
Oh, for a North American audience, though.
Oh man!
Average,
see, this is one of the
very
things.
Posh.
This is one of the things I find so interesting with like North American podcasts and art and etc. Is like just not knowing things about each other's cultures. So I'm actually Northern English, which in the UK means quite a lot. The North is like a very deprived area, and you don't often get us on TV. That's only started being a thing in the last 20 years. It's actually quite a big deal. So it's just really interesting to be like, oh, they would regard me as posh, because that was very much not my reality as a kid.
The Northerners are cast as our villains.
Yeah, we always cast Northerners as villains. So my accent's actually really mild, but yeah, we're usually cast as like villains or thugs or etc. That's the UK's version.
Chav, is it? Is that
Chav? No, that's London. Chav is London. And it's also 15 years ago.
I can't keep up with everything.
To be fair, I don't know what the lingo is now.
Oh no, neither do I.
No, I'm on what's that Urban Dictionary all the time. I hear
That's how I feel. Oh my god, yeah.
What is that word? What does it even mean?
What does it mean?
Young officers showing up and they're using these words. I'm like, I don't even know what that means, sir. Speak English. Like, so talk about a fail. Let's talk about a fortune. A moment in production that just clicked. Something that reminded you why your show matters.
I think you had one for this, Leonie.
In production, yes. So we had a very major plot point session that everything had been building towards, literally planned, 5 years previously. And
it was one of the first things I wrote for the campaign. was this moment, and we got to it. I think it's episode, I want to say like 53 or something. We won't say exactly what it is in case we get people who haven't listened to the show or want to. But yeah.
Spoilers. Okay, that's
Spoilers.
fair.
A lot of information is revealed, and I knew how hard you'd been working on it and how much you'd planned for it, and it was just really special seeing it all come together and feeling like the vibe around the table. So everyone was really invested.
The energy was amazing.
And everyone's mic etiquette was really good.
On point. They were silent. There was not even a muscle moved. It was so good. So proud of them.
So, did you expect it to hit as hard as it did?
Yes, I think it hit better.
I know you were really nervous about it.
I was like trembling with nerves because I was like, I think it's going to be today. We invited Duncan, who's our remote player. He's in Cambridge and we're all in Norwich, which in the UK, that's a long way. It's like 2 hours. It's a long way for us. So he actually came up for the session. I know it's not actually far, but it is to us. Yeah, no, he came up for the session and we were all in the room together and we had to have the table in a different place and everything. And it was such an electric feeling. And then like when we actually got to the point of editing it, and hearing the recording and being like, oh my gosh, it really did all come together. Like everyone sat beautifully. It's rewarding. You sat so well done. But it just came together beautifully.
Yeah, I think as well, when everyone's really having a good time,
oh yeah,
you can feel it and you can hear it. And it was just, yeah, I know, like I said, I know how hard you'd worked for it and how important this session was for you. So it was just really nice seeing that all come together and all your hard work and all the things tie up together.
And your hard work, you donut, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you also gave everyone space and time to shine. So
yeah, it was one of those where we'd had conversations with each person being like, what are you comfortable with? Where do you want to take your character? And because everyone was honest and we communicated this episode, we just really got to have beats for everybody and development for everybody. And it just shone. It was fantastic. And it really, like, when we actually like finished and exported the episode, we were just, I don't know, I had a little moment where I was just there like, I'm really proud that we made this. That's really cool.
That's excellent. Did you have like a little pre-show meeting to go over like, this is the big episode, there's going to be some reveals coming?
You made us stickers.
We did. We had like a party.
And so Paige is a graphic designer. You also made us invites.
We did, yeah. It's the episode is called The Last Dance of the Gods. So it's like an event in the actual campaign. And yeah, I made them all like invites as if they themselves were being invited to the event. So they all got sent an invite and they got like custom stickers. I think we got custom cupcakes and everything. We really went for it. It was a great time.
Would you point to that episode and say, this is who we are?
Yes. Yes. We also, I would say, recorded an episode that's even better last week, but it won't be out for like literally over a year, but it was so good.
You're so, I wish I could be that far ahead in recordings.
Oh, I think it's because we're so far behind on
far behind on the editing. But, we recorded a really good one last week, so we're really excited to let that one drop whenever it eventually does.
So no plan will survive contact with the players. If you're a dungeon master, you know this. If you're a player, you don't even care. What's a moment in game where everything went sideways, but it was still perfect?
We just had one in our most recent recording, which I can't talk about. Leonie, do you remember with our live episodes, did we get to the thing that Shona did? We might just need to check our website. 1 second. When you listen to our most recent episode, Dave, what happened in it? Just remind me.
Do you mean the right?
So the most recent episode, American Villain.
You're in the lounge underneath the sea.
Yeah, they were in the lounge, and then I walked away, came back. They're in a different area, and he was starting to threaten
test people. Yeah.
Okay,
so it's basically, I think probably the next episode to drop or the one after has an absolute 180, all my plans were ruined moment.
I think you can talk about it.
I think I can talk about it. So, because I would say a lot of this for us stems from the fact that it's a 10 to 20 campaign. So fundamentally, it's the thing of no plan survives contact with the enemy is quadruply true. And it's like the volcanic explosivity index. It increases 10,000 fold. every level you increase, it gets worse. So
Right.
at the point of the most recent episode, I think they're all level 16 at that point. So they're really getting to the point where it's very, very difficult to make them do anything. They just do whatever they want, basically. And all I have to do is plan what the villain wants, because that's all I can do, because I have no way of ever directing them, because they've got all sorts of stuff that can just break things. Because that's what D&D is at higher levels, really. Like I think that's a big part of the reason why people don't get to those high levels, because a lot of the mechanics are just absolutely game breaking. So yeah, one of my players uses a game breaking ability. I will say, I gave it to her, and she uses it.
Hindsight is always 20/20.
And it causes many things to go awry, and it makes the arc that we're in, which is called the Big Fish, because we do everything in like an arc per level. It makes the Big Fish about 5 episodes longer than it was going to be.
So was it a hilarious moment or a dramatic one?
Okay, so it was dramatic. Do you think we could talk about it?
Yeah, I think we can.
Let's just do it. Okay, so our campaign is founded on the idea that when you get to level 20, you literally become a god.
Okay.
And so you have a pantheon.
The old Dungeons and Dragons approach, original.
So you have a pantheon, which is made up of gods who are people who've like previously ascended and etc., but they're all dead. So our guys are the new gods that are arising. One of my players is the baby version of the god of music and song, and she has an ability which effectively lets her like control people or tell them what to do.
Okay.
So you get to this really dramatic moment. You're in the Medulla Lounge. You're with the big bad. You're with Toon down at the bottom of the sea. It's really dramatic and dangerous. And he's like trapped them into this situation that they can't win and etc. And then she turns around to the crowd, activates her ability, and then just tells them to riot. And it just absolutely threw everything on its head. It was a great time though, but it turned everything upside down.
So was that more of a choice, or was that more of a panic?
Well, I will say it was like 38 degrees. It was a heat wave day. It was 38 degrees. We'd been recording for 3 hours, and Shona just kind of looked at me in the eyes. Shona plays Schlurp, our bard, bard, very trustworthy for this, looked me in the eyes and was just like, I'm going to tell them to riot. And I was like, okay, are you sure? She was like, yeah, I'm going to tell them to riot. Like a little bit of heat delirium crept in, maybe. But that threw everything upside down. It was absolutely manic. So it like broke everything that was happening. So it was terrific fun, like then scrambling and you guys ultimately like breaking free of all the testing and the stuff he's trying to do to control you. And then it was just brilliant.
It definitely got the sense of the chaos.
Yeah.
In the next session, because you were like, I don't really know what's going to happen. So it all felt very chaotic. So that was good.
We just I'll just put this in the bin, I guess. Never mind. We'll just work out what's happening. Yeah, no. But I definitely think that was a turning point for us. That
now that they're getting higher level, so you obviously now it's less planning on your side because of things like that.
Oh, yeah, I fully think so. I think our most recent episode, they're level 16. So for complete transparency, we're now recording with them at level 18.
We just finished level 17.
So we're an arc ahead. They are now level 18. I fully cannot plan. Like, I can't plan. Like, I have to just write purely what the villain is intending to do, because I can only react to what they're doing. So I have timed events. I have things that I know that are going to happen in the exterior world and what the villain wants to do, but I can do nothing else because they are so powerful now. Like, their D&D abilities alone are bonkers. But then because we're doing the kind of pantheonic story and they're all resonating with different godhoods and different really powerful abilities, like, it's very much I just react. It's becoming a very 50-50 hand in hand. I toss the ball, you throw it back. It's a lot of fun. And honestly, I think it goes back to that thing of trust, because we're a party that's known each other a really long time. So I wouldn't give them the extra abilities that they have, which are very world breaking, if I didn't trust them. Like, I think the best example would be Jess's. So Lorelei, our druid, she is eventually going to resonate with the idea of being the god of pathways, which means her ability is to use something called the temporal trident, which can cut doorways. It can cut doorways into the past, present, and future anywhere in time and space, which is an insanely powerful item. So we had a long conversation before I gave it to her, being like, I'd like to give you this, but you need to understand how dangerous this item is.
Right.
Like, this is a very dangerous item.
It sounds like way more than 5 extra episodes.
Oh my God, it was, Dave, it was like a whole arc. It was unreal. But we had a good time, and I think it ended with someone throwing a sponge at him. It was good.
Exciting. So a moment from the podcast that hit you emotionally and just, made it worth it all.
Aliyula?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you want to take it away on me?
I can do it. So there's a moment where we witness Aliyula, who's one of the previous gods, ascend, but she's literally at the end of the universe, so before the previous universe was destroyed.
Yeah.
And it's just a really beautiful, emotional moment of, like, what do you do when you're at the end of the universe and you know that it's not going to end well, and you try and look after the people around you?
Yeah. So she was the previous god of music, and we learn that the universe only exists because, like, she sacrificed herself. So we travel. We have a series of episodes where we do travel in time, and we get to see, like, the end, like the real end of the universe and what happened, because they need to learn what happened in order to be able to fight it. And we get to see her sacrifice, and it was just like everybody was just pure magic at the table that day. They really, really ran with it, and I was very touched because this is a character and a reveal I'd been meaning to do for a really long time, so it was really exciting. Like I said,
so was an NPC.
Yeah, she's an NPC at the table, so getting to reveal that was really special. In terms of character moments, there are so many. Like, our characters have known each other 8-9 years, and like I said, we have really deep friendships. So we start the campaign with a wedding. We start the campaign with a wedding of I think it's literally Schlurp's mum is one of the people getting married. Schlurp being our bard. And then we play, like, one of my NPCs who I've been playing a long time. So when I'm not DMing, I play her. I just don't do it in the recordings very often. I play Junie, and she's married to Faraday. So we have a lot of key moments like that. And there's always loads of special stuff with Faraday and Corell, who are besties. They are your Faraday.
Yep.
Leonie is Faraday. She's our cleric. And then we have Corell, who is an 8-limbed arthropod played by Duncan, the Cambridge librarian. And they are incredibly close. They're like platonic soulmates, these two. And there have been a lot of pure magic moments with them. I think, like, there's a bit where they're getting literally tested and pitted with each other and tested, and they just have to trust each other. I think it might be one of our most recent episodes. But there's, like, a moment where Corell literally has to just trust Faraday, like, right up to the point of almost death. And they were like, of course I trust you. And it's just really, it's gorgeous. Like, you can tell how long these characters have known each other. When we play, we always say we're going to go play with our other friends.
Beautiful. And like, so, I mean, you've been friends for so long. You've been playing this game for so long. So this whole game friendship, real life friendship, and I'm guessing they just swing back and forth just kind of seamlessly.
Yeah, and the dynamics, honestly, we always find it really interesting, but, like, the dynamics are different between the players and the characters, and that's always fascinating. So obviously we're married. Shona is our bard, and she's, like, my best friend. But in the game, like, our characters don't really get on that well, and it's just a lot of fun. And we didn't really know Duncan at all when we started playing. He's Shona's brother, and she was just, like, literally a week before, she was like, "Can my brother join us?" And we were like, okay. And then he's ended up becoming one of our closest friends. But it was completely unexpected at the time, and the fact that your characters are so close, like, was an absolute shock to us. We didn't plan it or anything; it just happened organically.
Excellent. And obviously, you must have heard back from fans or things like that, and some of these magic moments. Do you?
Yeah, we
get
a
a lot of
lot
fan mail
people.
saying.
We don't get a lot of fan mail, but we've had a lot of people who are, like, the comments tend to be like, you can tell how long we've known each other, and you can tell that, like, these character friendships they're not just acting, like, there's a real feeling there. There's real feelings there of friendship and care for each other. I think we've had a lot of comments on, like, you can tell how much they've grown over time. We've had some nice ones about Schlurp, because Schlurp literally started with, like, no identity, like a 3-year-old site, which is our word for robot, because droid is really copyrighted. Extremely so.
Oh, yes. Star Wars be knocking on your door.
Oh, yeah. George Lucas, like, he's at the foot of the bed with a knife. Like, that's the energy of it. But, like...
Well, now
yeah.
the mouse will be there.
So true. But, yeah, no, like, most of the comments are, you can tell how genuine the friendships are. And we get a lot from LGBT people being like, it's really nice to see a happy gay married couple played by a happy gay married couple. So, like, Faraday and Jeannie start off the recorded show as newlyweds, and we were engaged, not quite married at the time. And there's, like, an episode which is very close to our real wedding. I think we do mention it in the recording, but you can really tell that we've literally just gotten married. And it's really sweet that it's in there. But it's nice to kind of be able to do that for people.
So, do you try to balance emotional arcs with fun, or do you just let everything happen organically?
I love writing books. So I'm always thinking about, like, what's happening, what are the beats that I would like to hit, and trying to balance the energy at the table. I think I always say, like, my biggest job at the table is balancing the energy and making sure people are having fun. That's the most important role I play. So if it means that I've planned for X to happen and that I can tell people aren't as into it, that means that I'm going to change it for next time. And I've forgotten the original question.
But I think you are very flexible. Like, you're very able to, like, roll with the punches, or, like you said, if that's not working, come up with something on the fly. And I can tell if you're improving it, but I think I'm probably the only person who can.
She is.
And also, my friends are really funny.
Oh my God.
I love my friends. I think they're hilarious.
Shona's so funny.
So I think we're quite able to find, and we love our characters. Like, we've been with them such a long time. We want them to grow. So I think everyone's coming from a place of, I want to bring that emotional growth, but also we're going to have a good time.
We make so many terrible jokes. I'd say 40% of them make it into the podcast. 40% make it in. There's some that are just too niche. We're aware our biggest listener base is the US and Canada. The UK is, like, 5th place. So they're like, there's some references we can't make because people won't understand what the hell we're talking about. Especially because we don't live near London. We're, like, rural UK. So it's a very different beast.
Yes, it is. So I'll get both of you to roll. We're going to do some roll for reflection. Roll a d20. Each number's got a question. Some introspective, some a little cursed. Let's roll. I'll let you decide who rolls first.
I enjoyed your face at cursed.
I wasn't expecting a little cursed. 8.
Marv, what do I get?
I
got a 2.
And what did you get, Paige?
A 2.
A 2.
I'm really hoping it's not, like, lower levels is more cursed. And
I think it probably is, Leonie.
No, Leonie, what bit flopped completely but made you laugh anyways?
Probably when Schlurp was trying to infiltrate, I think, a building site.
My God.
And they just completely flubbed their, like, deception or whatever it was. They can also shapeshift. And this was also a point where we were really needing to be... Stealth was the name of the game.
Be stealthy.
We'd split into 2 teams. The first team had gone literally, 20 meters up the road, been identified and been caught. And our team was doing pretty well. So we were like, okay, stealth is the name of the game. And then Schlurp just completely flubbed it, but then turned it into, like,
the funniest thing ever. I'm trying to understand. So I'm trying to remember how this even started. So essentially, Schlurp is a site, aka totally not a droid. They needed to get into a place. Was this when Schlurp was Bocco?
Yeah.
Oh my God. They absolutely flubbed this role to be, like, persuading, like, as to who they were. Like, it was a performance role.
Yeah.
It was the first time they'd flubbed a performance role because, like, it's their main stat. Absolutely.
Yeah, their pluses to that are like, yeah.
Somehow got a bad role. And I was like, okay, well, introduce yourself as just the worst, most unsubtle character ever. And she just, I don't know what possessed her, but she just went, all right. And then she just went, hello, my name's Blocko, fuck triangles. And she was just like this sight who was obsessed with squares and thought all of the shapes were inferior. And that was just her character. She decided to do it. And it was honestly, we were like losing our minds because it was just so nonsensical. And all the NPCs were just there like, what do we do with this?
No one's. You can feel someone thinking so hard, and then they're like, "This is what I've got." And you're like,
okay. We were like, who's your disguise gonna be? Okay, fuck triangles. Jesus.
That'd make a great T-shirt.
Fuck triangles, yeah.
I mean, I believe it is Shona's name in the group chat.
It is her name in the group chat
for multiple
for
years.
4 years. Hello.
Wait. What do you wish you'd known before hitting record?
Oh my god, how long it takes to edit?
Seconded.
Oh, that first moment where you've bought all the equipment, you've recorded your session, you're really pleased with yourself, you're thinking, I've got this, and then you open Adobe Audition.
Excited.
And you're staring at it, and then you edit for an hour, and you think, yeah, I've done loads. And then you look, and it's literally 6 minutes, and you're there going, I've made a mistake with my mathematics.
Oh, how true. Yeah, I mean, if anybody listening is going to start a podcast, editing will take over. It will consume you.
You get back what you put in as well. So it's worth the effort. The better job you do with the edit, with your sound checks before you record. Oh my God, sound checking?
Yep.
Whoa, that is so important. Because we have a remote player. If you have a remote player, for the love of God, make them clap at the start of the recording with you, because then you can sync up your tracks perfectly. It will save you so much time and energy trying to match tracks. If you clap together, it sounds silly, but it is such a hack. It's so helpful. We didn't do that for like the first 20 episodes. I have so many regrets about that. We do it now religiously. We always do the clap. We have a toilet
excellent.
break and we clap. When we get back, we have to clap.
Yeah, it's something, I mean, a lot of people probably wouldn't think about is if you got more tracks and they're not automatically synced, you have to figure that one out pretty quick. I talked with Jeff Stormer. He runs the Party of One.
Oh, yeah.
And he blew my mind with his friend saying, the 20-minute silence or 20-second silence before you're just to clear the background noise. And a friend's like, I just want you to type, or I'm going to type while I do this. So you can take it out easily.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
It's a really good one. We've done that with fans before.
Blew my mind.
So we didn't suffer so much in the hot weather.
All right. So our next role for reflection, kind of creator behind the curtain. So I'll get you both to roll me another D20, please.
Go ahead, else.
14.
Oh, nifty. Oh, 18.
All right. So we'll start with you first this time, Paige. Favorite off-mic cast moment you wish was recorded?
Oh my God. It's going to be from before we started recording, the 1 to 10. It's going to be in there. I think you know what it's going to be. Oh my God. Okay, so I wish this was on recording. Our first half of our campaign was levels 1 to 10. Level 10 ended in a ship-to-ship spaceship chase in atmosphere.
That was so good.
The home that they had bought, they started with no money and nothing, these 5. They met at like a gala and then started a party. They had nothing. Over the course of 10 arcs and like 4 years, they'd saved up the money, bought their own spaceship, kitted it out, made it into their home, and we didn't record it. But in the final episode, like the final campaign session we had for 1 to 10, they ended up like losing the ship because they had to crash it into the hold of another bigger ship in order to catch the bad guy, in order to catch the big bad. And like it killed Carell. We had like Faraday and Carell in the cockpit holding hands as the ship went down. Carell died. Faraday had to bring them back. I think it was your first resurrection as well as a necromancer. Like it was just an absolutely amazing session. We had like the capital city of the Namazir, who were the dominant species in our galaxy. That was literally under attack. And they were defending it in their little crashed ship. And then they were literally in the hold of the enemy ship. It was sensational. I'm devastated that it's not actually in the show because it was amazing. It was so good.
Would have been the perfect episode to start your next campaign.
It was so good. The ship going down was it was one of the best moments I've ever had in D&D. Devastated it's not recorded, but it was amazing. I will take your ship again. I will. It was good. I want to have that moment again. I'm coming for you.
Leonie, what's a moment that you surprised even yourself while role playing?
So I'm naturally very shy, and I really think that D&D has helped me to become more confident and talk more and earn my space at the table. So I think, just feeling more comfortable and confident, and particularly now we're in these higher levels, you can't really plan for stuff. It's very much take it as it comes. And I'm just very surprised that I now feel able to hold my own as a player, have moments that I'm really proud of among people I really care about. I like that. I like that. But also there's an episode that won't be out for a while, apologies, where Faraday gets, sorry, I'm being corrected for my mic etiquette.
Sorry, can't turn it off.
But Faraday gets to go toe to toe with Toon. And previously, I would have been like, no, I'm taking too much time at the table. Someone else needs to go. But I felt, no, this is my moment. My character's come this far. I feel confident in my ability to handle this. And I was just really proud of myself. But also, I think we have a lot of trust around our table. I don't trust that Paige is ever going to make any of us look silly or feel vulnerable. And you're always there to support us.
Yeah. So my job as a DM is not to fight you. It's to facilitate you to be your best selves and give your best effort at the table and have fun. I'm not your enemy. The second you think D&D is the DM versus the players, you're playing wrong. You're doing it wrong. Have fun.
I feel that so deeply, and I try so hard with my party, but then they do things.
The riot. Shoulder.
That cannot go unpunished. They ask for it themselves, but I totally get, I tell them, I'm just here to facilitate the story. You're telling the story. I'm just moving it along. Sometimes I got to throw a little extra in for them.
I feel that. All of our,
get that story going.
All of our god abilities, obviously they're extra to D&D anyway, which is already very overpowered at high levels. And we balance that by giving them really high costs. So that's been so much fun. That's so much fun in the game was I would talk to people being like, what are you comfortable with? And then I would push it a little bit further or change it slightly. So for instance, Jess, Lorelei, our druid, when she uses her godly ability, she has to roll a dice. A virtual dice in this case, because it's 1 to 9. She has to roll a 1 to 9, and the number is the number of the spell slot she will be permanently losing, which is a very high stakes cost. It's really fun though, but that's so much fun in the game. We have very high costs for the high level abilities, which is just, I don't know, a way of balancing it and reminding them what the actual price is and that there's penalties. You lose your hit point maximum. Leonie loses points from her hit point maximum, which again is quite a steep cost. Every time she uses that god ability, goes down a bit. But it's so fun because you've got the rule books.
Take some notes.
And you can stick with the rule books, and that's fine. But I think probably one of the reasons you're talking to us, Dave, is we very much do a lot of playing with the rule system, trying different things. We play with gravity mechanics, we'll play with all sorts of other bits and bobs, custom spaceships, etc. Just have fun, try stuff. Trust your table, try stuff. It's great fun.
I was looking because you got some other things. Did you ever look at Starfinder?
Yes, I did.
To get some of these rules.
I did look at Starfinder. I don't think Starfinder is where I got a majority of the spaceship rules from. I think Spelljammer was very influential. I remember Spelljammer being... So this is 8 years ago. Spelljammer was very influential. We referred to a bit of Pathfinder. We referred to a lot of different rule systems. Outside of recording, we've also played with quite a bit of Powered by the Apocalypse, and I really liked the pacing of Powered by the Apocalypse combat so much faster. It's really fast and reactive. So that's one of the influences for Junket as a whole with our combat. Our big fights are usually very big, cinematic. They'll have an element of timing in them, whereas we get to certain rounds, stuff will start to happen, the stage will change or it'll start moving or a spaceship will arrive. we always have those very dynamic, because we like to play with the rule system, because you know what? Loads of different people have got great rule systems, so do a little bit
Why
of
not
cherry
combine them?
picking. What's right?
Why not?
Why not?
combine them,
Exactly.
right? Like,
Why not combine them?
as long as you get to roll your dice, it's all good.
Yes.
All right. My last bonus question. How long do you actually have to microwave water to get a good cup of tea?
You don't
You
microwave
don't microwave water, you animal.
You put it in a kettle.
Put it in a kettle. You can hear my accent
So,
then, actually.
all right then.
I didn't say
Perfect
my
cup of tea.
teeth.
How does it go? There's 2 of you here, so I'm going to expect 3 different answers.
I don't drink tea.
She doesn't drink hot drinks because she's a heathen.
Are you even allowed in the UK?
Yeah, I know. Now the secret's out. I need to get packing.
I do drink tea. I prefer coffee, but I do drink tea. Perfect way to brew tea is I follow the James May school of tea drinking, which is you boil a kettle, you let the kettle cool for 2 minutes so the water won't scald the milk or the tea bag. You put the milk in with the tea bag first. This is very extremely controversial, by the way, to say milk with the tea bag first. Very controversial, but I know it's right. And then you add the water once it's cooled down a bit, and then you brew it for 4 minutes.
That's so specific.
It's important. It's not right.
Wait.
Otherwise.
You put the milk, if you're doing a pot, would you put the milk in with the tea bags?
No. If you're doing a pot, you would probably have like a loose leaf, or you would have. We do have a tea room in our little city that I do go to, but you do like a bag in a pot, and then you'd add the water. You would never put the milk in the pot. If you're doing a pot, if you're doing if you're at home, you don't make pots. You just do it in your cup.
Just make it a cuppa.
You just make a cuppa, yeah. He knows the lingo. Well done.
So you said James May. I see him on Amazon all the time. I just assume that he's just wandering around the whole UK and people just bump into him everywhere.
We're not quite that small.
True, or?
We're not quite that small.
I would love to, though. I think it'd be really interesting to talk to.
May seems all right. He's like the only one of the Top Gear blokes who seems okay. But he's a travel show. We got really into the travel show where he goes to like Japan and India and etc. And in it, he has a whole section where he goes off about how to make tea. And I tried it and was like, he's right. It's a good way of making tea.
He's also got a cooking show, apparently.
He doesn't seem like a man who should be let in a kitchen.
He didn't kill anyone, so I guess it turned out. He had a professional kept in the cupboard.
Oh, that'll be it.
That would be
it. British men over a certain age, very dangerous beasts in a kitchen.
But also, if he was right about the tea, he might be right.
Maybe he does know how to cook. I'm sorry, James May. I don't know you personally. Maybe you are quite good at cooking. I just assumed.
So, before we close off the airlock and drift off, where can listeners find your show, your crew, and everything happening in the Maelstrom Galaxy?
You can listen to the Junket Podcast at thejunketpodcast.com or anywhere you listen to podcasts like Spotify, Podbean, etc. Anywhere, any app you're on, you shall find us there in the Maelstrom Galaxy, probably battling Toon, probably battling a big 6-armed space salamander.
Oh, sounds fun. Excellent. Paige, Leonie, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming on to the show. Thank you for opening up your world to us and giving us a peek behind the curtain of making the Junket Podcast. If you think of anything else, you ever want to come back on, you have more fails, more fortunes, by all means, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to have you both back. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you very much for having us.
Cheers for having us.
Excellent. So everybody, like I said, you can find it at thejunketpodcast.com. Anywhere you find your podcasts, give it a listen. It is amazing. I'm sure you'll find an entertaining, fun-filled, chaotic, emotional world where you can lay back, kick back, and enjoy. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you. Bye.
What do you get when you mix ghosts, friendship, and a failed stealth roll that spirals into a 3-year campaign? You get Quest Friends. Next time on Fail in Fortune, we sit down with Kyle Decker, the brilliantly chaotic mind behind the show, to talk cartoon energy, improvising with emotional depth, and what happens when your players derail your plans with a hug. It's heart, hijinks, and Saturday morning cartoons. It's heartfelt, it's hilarious, it's haunted. Don't miss it.